Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Take on Tottenham. My name is Ben, and this is my take on Tottenham. And normal service is resumed. Oh, God. Yeah, where to begin? Uh, Full time result is probably a good place to start. Burnley 1, Tottenham nil. Brought right back down to earth after the elation of Saturday night. We're obviously going to get into it, of course. But on a whole, I think, without sounding really offensive to Man City, I think a lot of Spurs fans would have maybe looked at this as a bit more of a tougher game. I know that sounds really weird, but I mean in the sense of you kind of go to Man City, and if you can get anything out of the game, then it is a bonus. Let's be honest, every team that does go to Man City, if you get a draw, it's considered a good result. If you get a win, it's considered a fantastic result. And when you look at the table, of course you're going to think that they were walking away with the league. Um, Now it's, without showing absolutely any disrespect to Burnley, because I don't mean it to come across this way, when you look at the league position, and especially with Spurs' previous result, you would be led to believe that they should be winning these sorts of games. But Burnley having their own mini resurgence, as they seem to do every single season. Very resilient team. And Spurs came and stuck against them, and we'll get into it. Shockingly, no change to the starting lineup from Antonio Conte, and really, why would you? It worked really well against Man City. Fortunately, it didn't work well today, but it was the same team. A lot of impressive performances on Saturday night. Yeah, same team. I think Dane Scarlett made a late change in for Harvey White on the bench. I'm not sure why what happened to Harvey White, but a little late change. It wasn't really going to affect anything dramatically today. And I've got to say, first half, it was rubbish. It was absolutely terrible. Spurs started off very well in the first opening couple of minutes. A very straight on Burnley from the whistle, very straight up there trying to attack. Kane nearly had a bit of a fortuitous cross, nearly went in, took a deflection, just hit the side netting. It's an early chance, and really, it as the first half progressed, it got more sort of tight between both teams. Both goalkeepers weren't being tested. Very tight game. Very tight game. There's no space for anything to happen. Both teams very, very apprehensive about going forward as well. It was really boring, to be honest. It was really boring first half. And Spurs were, all credit to Burnley, being limited to how they probably did want to play, like they did against Man City, in the sense of the Man City game. I feel like people, if you're a Man City fan, Pep Guardiola certainly said so. It was just a counter attacking display. Yes, Spurs had success on the counter attack, but Spurs were troubling Man City's defence a lot during that game. It wasn't just counter attacks; they were getting through. Man City were struggling with the pace of Son and Kane dropping deep, providing balls out to the wings as well. It wasn't just a counter-attacking masterclass as Pep Guardiola likes to think. And Spurs weren't able to play that game today. They weren't. They Burnley, like I said, very well organised team, very defensive. Defensively minded team, and obviously with Sean Dyche are going to be, very strong at the back, despite where their league position, finds where they are. They have always been a difficult team to break down. You kind of have to get them at their worst moments to really sort of put a few goals past them, and Spurs really found that out in the first half. They were very well organised, and even Kane was struggling. He's still playing well, but struggling to connect to Sonny and to Kulusevski on the right. And really, like I said, just struggling to get in that flow. No flowing moves with Spurs today. And that's all I had really on the first half. Second half, it really picked up. It really did. So, second half, Bentancur came off for Harry Winks, and I thought that was a good substitution to make. I thought Bentancur was struggling. Really, he wasn't creating too much, and that's a shame because he's been very good since he signed. It's the first game that we've seen him in that I really felt like he wasn't really having an impact on. Spurs came out flying in the second half and hit the bar. Really, finally, a good set piece. For so long we've waited for one. Sonny whipped it in. Kane met it and smashed his header against the bar. It was really good move from Spurs, but the bar got in the way. And it was good pressing. Spurs, first 10 minutes of the first half, really pressing, really pressuring Burnley, and they were all men behind the ball at one point. It was really good to see. And then the pressure eased off. Burnley started coming back into the game a bit more, and you're like, oh God, here we go. And a funny thing is, I saw a meme before the game about this game, about it being Burnley, and it was that meme of the couple lying in the bed together, and the woman's she's lying the other way to her husband, and they're both having separate thoughts, and the woman's like, why is he not happy? They've just beaten Man City, they've done the double over Man City, and they've got Burnley coming up next. What's not to be happy about? And then it cuts to the man, and the man's thinking, oh God, Spurs have got to go to Burnley in midweek. And that was basically it. Really, that's what I meant earlier in the video. It's for all on paper that this game should have looked easy. It was not the case at all. And I don't think anybody would have thought that. I certainly didn't. I knew tonight was going to be either a banana skin, or it was going to be if we were going to win it, it was going to be a battle. It was going to be tough. It was going to be not nice to watch. It was going to be those matches that you just got to get your goal and just grind out the win and get a 1-0 win. Liverpool did it a couple of weeks ago. Was it weeks ago? Last week? I can't remember. I think it was last week, wasn't it? I think it was a 1-0 win, but they got the job done. They got 3 points. They got out of there. Back to the second half. Really funny moment, I personally thought. The ball came out wide, and Harry Kane and Emerson Royale were both there. And Harry Kane, most of the time, you'd like to see him in the box on the end of the crosses. And I found it quite funny because it looked like Emerson Royale was going to take it, and Harry Kane chased the ball down and pretty much went, no, I'm having this. And whipped I've got to say, it was a beautiful cross in, and I think it got deflected out for a corner. It was right on the 6-yard line, right where you want it to be. And it was almost like Harry Kane was going, you see this, Emerson, this is how you cross a ball. I was like, bloody hell, he should have watched that. Because obviously Emerson Royale's had his difficulties crossing especially. But it was like Kane was just like, right, watch and learn. I liked it anyway. Kane went close from distance, took a shot about sort of 25 yards out with his left foot, hit the side netting. Romero had some excellent moments against, I'm going to butcher the name now, Weghorst, for Burnley, the Man Mountain that they've just signed. Some excellent times defending against him. For a player of his size as well, to deal with him the way he did tonight. And I'm not saying Weghorst had a bad game either. He played out of his skin today, held the ball up very well for Burnley. But I thought Romero, when called upon, deal with it very well. So that was good to see. Spurs had more sustained pressure, really penning Burnley back. Burnley then came back themselves. Fantastic save from Hugo Lloris. I think it was Jay Rodriguez header. Really powerful header. Going into the bottom corner, Hugo reacted very well and saved it. Kulusevski, I personally think had the best chance of the game. Sonny made a really great run, found Kulusevski, who took the shot on his preferred left foot, and it just went wide. I was inches away from the post. It was so close. It's big chance though, really big chance. And then Burnley got their goal, and it was one of those that you just had the feeling it was going to be coming, and it was. I've got to say, as much as I've praised him in this match, and he did have a good game. Cristiano Romero is, I felt, to blame for the set piece. He was marking Ben Mee, and he just got out muscled. He was not. I don't think he was 100% aware he was behind him, but Ben Mee just wanted the header more, and at the end of the day, it worked and it paid off. Great goal from Burnley's perspective, poor goal from Spurs' perspective, poor goal for Romero to concede, I think. Just seemed unaware of it. Rodriguez missed a sitter, and you think, is this going to be one of those games? Is that going to be a key moment? But unfortunately, it didn't matter. Harry Winks had a penalty claim. Now, VAR did look at it, and they waved it away. Stuart Atwell was in VAR, and I think he potentially, my personal opinion, and this is not bearing on this game, it's just my opinion after seeing him all these years as a ref, is probably one of the worst refs in the Premier League. But I personally think it was, I could see it being given. That's all I'm going to say. And again, I say it every single week, there is a penalty decision. Opposition fans are going to say it wasn't a penalty, and Spurs fans will say it is, or vice versa, whichever way the decision falls, because that's how football fans and debates and arguments and everything works. You want it for your team, the other team won't want it against their team. That's just how the world is. But I don't know. I felt it was, like I said, it went to VAR, they looked at it, they waved it away. I don't know. I've seen pens like that given this season through VAR. Would it have been given as a free kick? I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit of a contentious decision, I think, but I'm not using that as an excuse either, because I always say, and if anyone watched my videos, it's about the reaction. They can't just rely on one penalty decision that they might have felt gone against them. I demand a reaction from my team, and and I want to see them get back up and try and get a goal, sort of thing. And they did try, but Burnley were very resolute in the defending. They held out well. And I think Steven Bergwijn had a chance. He just hit it straight at the keeper. It was a poor shot. But Burnley, it was an even match. I think Burnley probably edged it. I think Spurs did enough to get something from the game by any means, but Burnley took their chances and Spurs didn't, and that was what cost Tottenham at the end. I thought, really, I've wrote it down, I thought Sonny had a terrible game. I thought he was so poor today, and I hate saying it because he probably is my favourite Spurs player. I absolutely love Sonny, but I thought he was very poor today. I thought there was a chance in the first half, I think, when he could have passed it to Kane. He was open one-on-one, and Sonny decided to go himself, and he got out-muscled, outnumbered, and lost the ball in the end. And it was right before half-time as well, so it would have been a great time to score. And I just felt like he didn't have that click that he had on Saturday, and it's a bit of a shame. I'm not just to single Sonny out. I felt like a lot of players didn't perform to how they did show that they could perform on Saturday. Kulusevski, I thought had a good game, but struggled. Felt like Burnley really stopped him from getting onto his left foot a lot. Obviously his stronger foot. I felt Lucas Moura, when he came on, really didn't have much of an impact as he should have. I felt, like I said, Sonny had a really poor game. I thought Højbjerg struggled at times, had really good moments, but I think on overall struggled. I thought Winks was a good addition, personally. I thought that was a good sub to make, and he added something to the midfield that we were lacking in the first half. I felt Sessegnon had a solid game. I felt Reguilon was on the bench, but I felt that it might have been a good one to bring on. Personally, I might have brought on a Reguilon over a Bergwijn just to give Spurs that, that added extra in defence as well, because obviously he's a left wing back, so he can get back. But he's got a good cross on him as well, his left foot Reguilon, so I would have brought him on personally. I'm not a football manager though. I thought Eric Dyer and Christian Romero did good again today, and Ben Davies as well. There was no massive. We've seen Spurs in the last few weeks look very defensively shaky. I don't think they showed that much today. It was one error from Romero, who that opened up the goal. It was, like I said, it was a tight game. I thought Lloris again had he made some really good saves again today. Kane did his best. I think Kane, tried everything that he could. Nowhere near to the game that he had on Saturday, but again, it would have been hard to recreate that sort of game in very different opposition. But he tried. He was doing his dropping deep. He was making amazing passes, as he always does. I like to highlight that. But again, it was just a game that he just couldn't get the rub of the green. And yeah, Bentancur as well struggled. So Emerson Royale as well had good moments, but again, overall, I felt really wasn't great. I would have maybe looked at bringing Matt Doherty on. Spurs really need to sort that right wing back position out in the summer. They need to get someone. One person I really like is Lamptey from Brighton. Already established right wing back, exactly what Conte wants, and he's got pace to get forward and whipping crosses as well. He's a cracking talent. I really would love to see Spurs sign him. But yeah, alas, we are looking at 3 points dropped, 1 point dropped. They were chasing the draw in the end, but Spurs treading on their own tail again by the looks of it. This was a game in hand. Got no points from it. Now getting to the top four, not in their hands, of course, with games in hand anymore. So it's going to make life difficult, and it gets more difficult as well because they face Leeds on Saturday. Another game where people probably on paper will look at it and go, "Oh, it should be 3 points." Liverpool smashed them today, but Leeds are such a weird team to try and predict how they'll play, and they'll either lose heavily or win heavily. And I remember last season they absolutely outplayed us in the 3-1 defeat to them. So it will be a very difficult game, and Spurs might have to play more like they did against Man City on Saturday and really hit Leeds on the counter-attack. But again, it's another banana skin for Spurs, and they really can't afford to lose any more ground. Still got a couple of games in hand, but it's just not as great as saying we had 4 games in hand sort of thing. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes on Saturday. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the game today. Very disappointing, of course, but we got to go again. It's all about the reaction, as I'm sure all the players will say on Instagram. So I will see you guys in that next video. If you like what you've seen, hit the subscribe button. And full credit to Burnley. I always have to say, they perform very well. I think they just edged it for the win. But yeah, full credit to them. They played out of their skins, and I'd like them to stay up personally. I do like Burnley. Not today, but I do like Burnley. And it's made the relegation fight even more interesting. So look at that. How about that? Spurs in the same week have opened up the Premier League title race and the relegation race. So neutrals and bloody TV ratings and networks and everything, you're welcome. We're doing this for you. Screw the fans. Screw all the hard-working, paying fans that put all their time and effort and money into supporting this club. We're doing it for everyone else. Yeah. So enjoy it. I'm losing the plot, obviously. So I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, come on, you Spurs.